Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
What's going on? What's going on? Thanks so much, everyone, for checking this out, this podcast, the Keeping It Real Estate with Sara Delasig. That's me podcast. If you are joining us live, thank you so much. I hope you will all benefit from this. If you're listening online, thanks for listening online. Watching the video later, thank you for that. And today I want to talk about the topic is how to handle cash offer sellers. And I have been known to have a little bit, I speak out. This is why it's Keeping It Real Estate, because I keep it real. So I have talked out about certain things that I find manipulative in the real estate industry that, maybe puts buyers or sellers in a predicament where they're not, where they're kind of just like forced into something maybe they don't want or don't need. And I'm not down with that. So I have, like, when I first started my business, the Inside Sales Agency up there somewhere, you can see it. One of the very first lead gen sources I had was ZBuyer. And I was working these and I thought that these people requested a cash offer and knew what they were doing. And then I come to find out they were clicking on an email that they got that said that someone had offered cash for their home. And, if you fill out this form and give your info and agree to be contacted by multiple real estate agents, then, you could find out what it is. And so I was like, come on, that's super scammy, because we weren't offering a cash offer. Like, the person that I was doing this for, the agent I was doing it for, was trying to list their home. And a lot of agents do that. And I'm not, I personally, it was an ethics thing. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make calls like that unless they actually are willing to offer cash for the home or have the ability to do so. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to start on a real note, on a hopefully positive note, to give some perspective on something that I was thinking about while I was driving to work this morning and kind of like getting in the right headspace to come on here and, bring value to everyone listening. So, with that said, I'm driving and there's and I'm on a one lane, well, it's like one lane going each way road. And there's a billboard that says, keep your eyes on the road. And for some reason I thought of the road to Hana, and I thought of the road to success is like the road to Hana. Now, if you know, if you've ever been to Maui, there is this tourist attraction with black sand beaches that is insane, like legitimately. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't done it in 20 years since my my honeymoon, and and it was not something I finished, because the road to Hana, if you ever done it, and like I said, I haven't done it in 20 years. But it is something right out of it's so difficult. It is a one lane road and I mean just one lane going both ways. Like, it's not a lane there's no middle section. Like, you stay on this side and you stay on that side. It might have it now, but it didn't 20 years ago. And I'm going to just share a picture of what people, why people do this. So it is absolutely gorgeous. So people, when they think of success, they probably think of these, rainbows and waterfalls, right? And this is, it's absolutely incredible, which is why people want to do it. It's so beautiful, black sand beaches. I mean, there's just so much. And so I was one of those people that was like, yeah, let's do it, And as you start going down this road, and first of all, just to give you perspective, this is what it looks like. This is what I think the road to success looks like too, for people that are not on the road to success. Okay. When you are zoomed way out, it doesn't look that insane. Okay. It doesn't look like you're going to have all these crazy twists and turns, and you don't know that it's a death defying, you could fall off the edge or plow into somebody coming the other direction, or, you know, there's no safety rails. Like, it is legit terrifying, yet insanely beautiful, and it makes you feel alive. So if we zoom into this, just for anyone that has never been to Maui and does not know what I'm talking about, there are t-shirts that say, I survived the road to Hana. There should be t-shirts that say, I survived the road to success, because this is what I think of. This is literally it. You are constantly second guessing yourself. You're thinking, what am I doing? And for me, when you get about halfway, if you can get halfway, because you're already nauseous and terrified of, like, when you see people coming the other direction, you can barely see them because it is literally just every corner is twisting and curving. And like, this is not even doing it justice because it's so much more insane than what you're seeing on this Google map, right? And when we got about halfway, and this says it's an hour and 3 minutes, and that is not accurate whatsoever. It was probably 3 hours in when I was, you know, ready to throw up on the side of the road. But there isn't really anywhere to pull over. So I wanted to keep going, but as you get to halfway, you're like, oh my goodness, halfway through this road to Hana, like, I want to see the black sand beach, but I'm already nauseous and I already feel like I've met my limit of what I can handle here, you know? And so same thing with the road to success. You might be halfway there. You might be on that road and you might be thinking, okay, I've already put this much time and effort and energy into this, but I'm sick to my stomach. I'm not sleeping. You know, whatever the case may be. So that is why I think the road to Hana is like the road to success. And I made it halfway. I wish I would have made it all the way, but 20 years ago, I made it halfway and I was done. And other people do it. So now I'm on the road to success, AKA the road to Hana in life. And I am trying my best to not, halfway through pull over and say, call it quits or settle. Like, maybe you just decide to set up shop halfway through and you're like, okay, I'm just going to live here forever because I don't want to go back. Because once you've made it that far, you're like, okay, I have to go back. You start thinking, the further you get, you're like, oh my gosh, we have to go back. We have to, there's one way in and one way out. At least there was when I did it. So that is something I wanted to share, and it was on my mind, and I hope it was helpful, because when you zoom into it, it is not, the road to success is not a straight line. It is many, many, many twists and turns with terrifying, death-defying cliffs and stuff that makes you nauseous, and you have to keep going to get to the reward of the black sand beach. So that's my metaphor today. All right, but we're going to talk about how to handle cash offer sellers. I have a little list of things here. So I do only actually call these if the agent is an investor that can buy these. So as I mentioned earlier, I don't like to scam people. So I won't make phone calls for cash offers unless they can do that. And when you do that, they have to be, you have to handle it a little differently. And I'd say that because you don't want to say that you work with a realtor, or like, if you are a realtor, you don't want to say you're a realtor. You want to say that you are an investor. Or like when I call, and we're going to listen to a call where the guy actually told me, hey, yeah, he called me back and he's like, yeah, I'm thinking of selling in 1 to 2 years, but speed delete is a thing. I called him right away as soon as I saw it come in. He called me back and we were playing a little bit of phone tag. And finally got him. And then he's like, yeah, 1 to 2 years. So then I would kind of like cooled off. And I'm not perfect. So when you guys hear this call, you're going to be like, oh, well, she said, don't say real estate agent. I do say real estate agent because there's a point where he does say, he's looking at listing his home or something like that. Like, he starts talking about other things. So this call I had to share, and I decided to share it yesterday before I knew that it actually went under contract this morning for the cash offer. So the agent / investor is offering him cash for his home. And there are other options, right? So the agent is also an agent, but we approach it from the point of view of an investor. And that really lowers their guard. And then the investor / agent can go there and show them different options. So one of the first things that I do, though, is I'm verify that the home isn't already on the market. I want to verify that the home is actually, on on a piece of land. Sometimes you get this with mobile homes, and that is, not the same thing as property. So I verified that the home isn't on the market already. We actually got one just yesterday that came in, and they bought the home 3 months ago. And so that's like a question mark. Like, are they just trying to find out what it's worth? Like, why are they requesting that? So I always look up that info, and I am a realtor. So I feel comfortable talking about certain things, but I would not mention price without being comfortable, knowing what it says. So some of the other cash offer scenarios or like lead gen sources are like realty.com, which is the one that I've set most of the appointments on, just FYI. That one actually has like a little like AVM and what they suspect the cash offer would be. I had permission, from the agent to, use that data. And, you just have to work within the rules and the parameters of what an agent can do. So if you are an agent listening to this, which most of you probably are, you can go ahead and throw out a number if you feel comfortable with that. If you are an ISA doing this for an agent, I recommend that you make sure that you don't mention price and that you get them, scheduled in person to see the home with the investor/agent. Okay, speed to lead is a very real thing with these cash offers. Sometimes there are not all leads are created equal. I've talked about this before, and these cash offer leads, speed to lead is real, and you want to call them as soon as possible while it's on their mind and they remember what they clicked on, and they remember to enter in their address and all of that. If you use RPR or anything like that, you can also find out if they're actually the owner of the home and things like that. So that is also helpful. I don't like to get analysis paralysis though. I don't like to do all this research and then I go to make the call and find out it's bad number and now I've spent 15 minutes on something. I just want to get in there and so basically as I'm pretty much making the call or right about before I dial, search up the address, see what's going on, make sure it's not on the market already, and then make the call. Okay. One of the things that I find that happens a lot with these cash offers is that they need to sell for some reason. Not all of them. And when you hear the call, you're going to hear someone, the guy is kind of saying an investor wants to get the most money, the most bang for their buck. So you might he doesn't use the words lowball me, but a lot of people do on these cash offer scenarios. They say, well, as an investor, you're going to try to lowball me. You're going to try to blah, blah, blah. Right. And so you have to put their mind at ease. And so on this call, I literally did, I have 4 of these under contract, I think now, 4 of these cash offers within the last, I want to say 2 weeks. And one of them is a new construction. It was built in 2021 or something like that. It's not very old. And I was kind of blown away that this person wanted a cash offer for almost a brand new home. Another person that I talked to, he's elderly. His girlfriend has dementia. She owns half of it. He owns half of it. So there are different scenarios. Paying off medical bills might be a reason that they want a cash offer, or they just might need to up and leave and get out of the situation, or you don't know. But there are, as an agent/investor, that can offer a cash offer. And if you're with EXP, you might have express offers or something like that, which is a really good reason to be able to do this. Then you have multiple options. So you can say there are different options for you. It's not just a cash offer. Obviously a cash offer is going to be the quickest way to go to get you, a big chunk of money without putting it on the market, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Regardless though, you have to see the home. Now, people will text me back all the time or call me back and say, just make an offer or don't call me, right? Just make an offer. Just tell me what you're going to pay me. And it's well, yeah, okay, then let us come see the home. That's the bottom line. If you want me to make an offer on your home, I got to make sure that the foundation is still, up to code and all of that stuff. We're not just going to go say, oh yeah, sure, I'll just give you whatever. Your offer is that I need to see the home before I'm going to make you an offer. And that's that. So sometimes you get the jerks and that's just part of it. But I will say that I have been pleasantly surprised lately, especially with the realty.com cash offer stuff in different markets. I have to caveat this because I do call all over the country, and there are areas, Washington State, that is just not functioning as well as other areas. like Georgia, which is the place that I was calling for this one. Okay, so yes, don't mention price. Don't mention that they're an agent. I do mention that he's an agent. I'm not perfect. When you listen to this call, you're going to be like, all those things she told me, she didn't necessarily stick to. I also was a little thrown off because he like called me back and I wasn't on the right thing. But either way, I'm human. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Neither are you. And this call was actually really good because it turned into, like I said, this guy signed the contract this morning. So we'll be, it's not listing his home. He's actually getting a cash offer. Most of them have turned into listings and not cash offers. I think this is the first cash offer that we've had that didn't actually list it. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen sound. And let's get it started. Okay. Make sure this is the right one.
Hello, this is...
Hey, Joe. Sorry, I was on the other line when you called me back. This is Sara. But I'm glad we were able to connect. It didn't take long. I just wanted to talk to you about the request for that cash offer on your home on Road.
Sure.
Yeah. So are you living in the home? What's the situation?
Yeah, we're currently living in the home. You know, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not necessarily real actively looking to sell. I think in my mind, I'm probably more, you know, probably about 2 years off. Unless, you know, I mean, if an offer came back that was phenomenal, then, you know, that might speed things up. But I think, I guess I more just wanted to kind of get a feel for, you know, kind of what the market might bear.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a number in your head that is like what you're saying is a phenomenal offer that you might not be able to refuse? Because I'm just curious.
I mean, not absolutely, right? I mean, to be honest, we all look at, you know, Zillow and all that, and I know that that's a, you know, not always necessarily 100% accurate.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, I guess I'm trying to get, and I watch homes around me that have sold recently, so I have some idea on comps. I guess I'm just trying to get a feel for, you know, how it stacks up versus, you know, what I'm seeing on Zillow, that sort of thing. So.
Okay. Well, so normally, like, I'm just going to be like super, I'm a straight shooter. Normally, when we get these and like the people are like kind of in a, you know, like a immediate rush to sell, then we come out, we take a look at the home, and then we, you know, submit that to our team after, you know, taking some pictures and stuff and see what the, what it comes out to be. And then we can provide that cash offer. So since you're like 2 years out, would you just want maybe, well, we could still do that if you'd like, or we could give you kind of like a generic estimate of what it might be worth. But that would not include any upgrades that you've made to it or, you know, anything that hasn't, yeah, basically it's, when was it built? I'm trying to find this.
It was in
77, 1977. Yeah. So, you know, usually there's a lot of stuff that's been done in ever since you bought it. How long ago did you buy it?
We bought it in early 2019.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, that's not too bad. I mean, we're talking like, what, 5 years then? So, yeah. I mean, still there's little things like if you put a roof on or if the previous put a roof on, if it wasn't accounted for. So, like, I don't want to pressure you into anything. However, if you are open to, you know, selling it to an investor because it's the right price, well, that's something that we can definitely help out with. But, like, I just don't want to waste your time or anyone else's if it's not really in your, you know, in your mind right now.
Sure. No, I mean, I completely understand that. I guess, you know, in my mind, it seems like you're going to have the best profit margin on buying a house that you can, right? That probably needs a lot of work. You can buy on the cheaper side and rehab and then, right, sell it for a nice increase. I mean,
depends. I mean, I actually had a new build just the other day, cash offer. for a new build, like it's only like 2 years old. So, it just depends. Like sometimes people are in a situation where they got to pay their medical bills or something came up or a family member, you know what I mean? So the cash offer thing. But like I said, I'm happy to book a time for, our team leader to come out, take a look at it if you want. But it's totally up to you. There's no pressure. There's no commitment or anything. So it wouldn't hurt. It's better to get the info than to not have it if you want.
Yeah. I guess I'm just trying to, weigh that again. True. I don't want to waste, my time. I don't want to waste your time either, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you, like, we put laminate floors throughout when we moved in. We put a new roof on just a year ago. So
yeah. So there's been some upgrades. Any new windows, appliances?
Yeah, put in new windows across the back and a new sliding door. The windows in the front had been replaced before we bought it.
Oh, okay. Got it. But yeah, so I mean, if you level with me, if we were to come with an offer of like $350K or something like that, would that be enough to make you want to get, upgrade or downsize or find another place or move out of state? Or is that something you'd be open to if we had an option to get your home sold like that?
Yeah. That's maybe a little bit lower than what I was, than what I would say would be like a phenomenal offer to make me move right now.
Of course. I mean, if you've seen, first of all, the estimates are notoriously inaccurate, especially because it's not taking into account that you put a roof on and the expense of that or anything like that. But, if you were to list the home, there's that option too. Like, there's different options with this,
right?
That you could do different things. But it's completely, it doesn't hurt to come take a look at it and see what happens, but it's totally up to you, like I said.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let you, we can set up a time to come take a look at it.
All right, cool. Well, when is a good time for you?
I work from home, so I'm somewhat flexible. It's always just really around balancing around different meetings. So,
all right.
I mean, do you normally come out, during the day and the evening?
Real estate agents work all hours of, so it's really
Sure.
a peak, but our main guy, he does have lots of children and cheer practice and things like that in the evening. So his calendar is open next week, or I could get you in. Maybe I could get you in tomorrow. Let me check. I think he has maybe right around 4:00. He could come out tomorrow.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Okay, and just let me make sure I have road, just so I'm looking at the right one.
Sure.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so what I'll do is I will finalize this and everything, and then he should be out there tomorrow, about 4. His name is David Johnson, and he usually brings somebody with him as well, so there might be another person because he's training other people too, and they can go over all that, and they'll just meet you at the house at 4 tomorrow and see where it goes, and I'll text you all their info so you can reach them.
Okay, and ballpark in terms of time, just like a plan, Sarah? What would you say?
Oh, how long it'll take? It shouldn't take more than an hour. I would even say probably 30 minutes. And unless you have a bunch of questions or something like that.
Okay. No, that's perfect.
All right, cool. So it's going to be either David Johnson or Jen Ford or both of them, and they will see you out there tomorrow at 4.
Okay. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so one of the things I noticed is that I said Zestimates are notoriously inaccurate, and my assistant missed it, so I texted her to fix it. But that was something I said on there. And then I also, as you can see, because he calls me back and he's like, yeah, we're 1 to 2 years out. I kind of took it away, and I was like, okay, well, we could just give you a generic CMA since you're 1 to 2 years out. And I was thinking at the time, oh man, he's 1 to 2 years out. we'll see. So, but I took it away and he immediately started talking about the upgrades that he did. So then I knew that he was more serious than he was letting on. And he was like, I'll answer that question in just a second, Herb. He was actually like, well, I would like a really, great, phenomenal offer. And I always ask them, well, what does that look like to you? Because some people are ridiculous. They'll say 500K in their home on the AVM or on the cash offer. Part of it will say that it's only worth, or like if they were to get a cash offer, the way it is listed, then, or the way that they know that it is without any upgrades made to it or whatever, it would be a certain amount and like 250 and they want 500K. And I'm like, yeah, unless you've absolutely like torn down the whole house and rebuilt it and it's like, pristine, you're not going to get 500K for a 250K house. So to answer your question, or where did the 350 come from? It was from, this was a realty.com cash offer that came through, and they have like in it, it says like AVM and it gives a range, and then it says cash offer would most likely be, and it said something. And so I used that in conjunction with what the Zestimate said. So I was looking at that too. And look, I'm not going to trust the Zestimate, but I was giving I was like doing a lowball offer and just trying to gauge where he's at so that I didn't waste time. I didn't want to book him with somebody if he wanted $1 million for a home that wasn't worth $1 million. You know what I mean? So I threw the number out there to really gauge his level of seriousness. And he said, well, I wouldn't call that a phenomenal offer, but as far as I know, that's kind of what he accepted. So I was pretty close from what I understand. So that is the answer to that. Any other questions about all that? I did also, no, I think I covered everything then. Yeah, I've covered everything on my end. If you guys have questions, please find me on social. My name is Sara Delasig, no H on my name. And you can book me to speak at your event, which is something that I'm doing as well. At Sara_the_ISA on Instagram. And you know where to find me. So come check me. Thanks so much.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.